Hello everyone, I'm Adrien Lagrange and I'm here to present you the work we did on multi-scale building damage assessments with deep neural network. So this work is done in the context of natural disaster monitoring, and we want specifically to have a quick and reliable processing chain to deal with the ever-increasing amount of very high resolution images. And to do that, we look toward deep learning as a solution. So the goal of our work is to design an efficient processing for automatic building damage assessment using deep learning. And we want specifically to handle several classes of the image and to reach a solution which is fast and reliable. To do this job, we have actually two options. The first option is to perform our processing on ground and the second on board. So those two options have distinctive advantages. In the case of on-ground processing, we have, for example, the possibility to use auxiliary data, such as pre-disaster images. In this case, we don't have also any limitation regarding the hardware we are using, and which means that we won't need to reduce or compress the DNN model that we trained. In the context of onboard processing, we will have a faster reaction with no problem of downlink restriction, which could be the case with CubeSats, for example. And we will have also the possibility to set up a continuous monitoring in this context. So today I will present the work we did on the on-ground solution, but in future works we will tackle the problem of going on board. First of all, we need to define a scale of the image, and we choose to use the one provided with the XView2 dataset. So this scale is divided in 4 classes. The first class is node image, the second one minor image, then major image, and finally totally destroyed. For our test, we use the XView2 dataset. This dataset is very complete with 6 types of disasters and also pre-disaster and post-disaster images. As deep neural architecture, we choose to use segmentation DNN and specifically a unit-like architecture with an encoder-decoder part. We use specifically an EfficientNet encoder, but we also included a very specific architecture called SciMASI network, where we have 2 encoder parts, each processing the pre-disaster image and post-disaster image respectively. The information is then merged in the decoder part of the network. We included also some specific training settings, for example, the very classic augmentation, but also the stratification according to classes and density of building in the images. And finally, we also used a more advanced technique called cyclical learning rate. Regarding the inference, we used the technique of test time augmentation, so where we predict the same image several times after applying some geometric transformation on it, and then we average all the prediction for this image. So now I will show you some of the images of our dataset. So here you have the pre-disaster images. Now you can see the post-disaster images associated. Now you see the ground truth provided with the XView2 dataset. And finally, the results we get with our network. And you can see that these results are quite consistent, even if there is still some mistake. Now, if you look at some quantitative results, we can see that except for minor damage classes, the results are quite good. Now, we try to use some specific strategy in order to classify better the minor damage classes, and to do it, we try to train 4 specialized networks trained in a one vessel manner, and then merge the results. We show that this strategy is actually not reliable. However, if we merge the minor and major classes, we are able to obtain good results. Additionally, we tried to perform some generalization tests using a second dataset. So you can see here a subpart of the image of this second dataset. Here you can see the results compared to the ground truth, and you will see that the results are quite consistent, but could be still improved. Finally, if we look at the future of this work, we'll try first to improve the generalization results, and then we'll go further by trying to implement an onboard processing chain. So I'm here to answer any question you could have. Thank you for your attention.